It's August 2nd, 2018, 12:33 p.m. I'm going to do my best to be out of here by 1:10 p.m. So we're going to move real fast today, and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, probably really big report at midday. So at least one of those days will have to be an extra long session. I'll try and schedule that. So the report that I'm going to be referencing today is, where is that one? So that'll be the July 10th report that has Netflix through to X on it, so NFLX through to X. July 10th was the part B of that report. So the report prior to that was probably of that week, so early July. So it's August 2nd now. That's the early July report with Netflix through X is the one I'm going to start referencing. We probably won't get through it all today. We'll get through the rest of it tomorrow. And then we're also going to look at some of the other trades that we have on the go that are triggering. If you're not aware, we cover 100 equities on our swing trading platform for our swing trading members. There's 5 reports, so about 20 equities each report, approximately. It varies. And we cycle through those 100 every 5 weeks. So the members get 1 report a week, actually 2, because it's split into 2. And that can vary with market movements. But the point here is that we are processing updates for all 100 equities during earnings to make sure that we're on the right side of the move here. We're in the latter part of our year, so in quarter Q3 and Q4, we want to make sure that we're positioned properly and we see an inflection in the market happening right now. So to make sure that we're on the right side of these equity moves, we're going through them all as fast as we can through the earnings season here, and then we'll be back to our regular rotations of reports after that. I know Jen, I took one last look at the profit and loss statements on the various accounts and alert feeds for Q1 and Q2, and gave her a few. We like to use that as a training newsletter also for our members. So I gave her a few pointers. She's making a few changes, and that'll be out at this weekend at the latest. And yeah, anyway, swing trading has been fantastic all the way through 2018. It was great in 2017. And we want to make the last 2 quarters here fantastic too. So that's the goal. A lot of these charts, these are simple generation 1 algorithmic model charts, but a lot of them are actually getting into 2, 3, and 4th generation now. With our machine trading, we're going to be coding them too. So those models start coming out between now and August 14th, so members can look forward to those. And of course, on the other side of that is a price increase, but not for our existing members. We don't raise the prices on our existing members, but I just note that because a lot of folks ask me in private message if there are price increases coming, that type of thing. And anyway, there's one coming after all the models are out on the 14th. All the equities won't be modeled to the machine trading side by then, but our regular algorithms, oil and gold and crypto and stuff, they will be, and will be have started on the equity side. So anyway, we're going to start with the S&P, oil, and then we're going to go into these alarms that triggered. Okay, so the S&P, oh, and one other quick notice is that September 14th through 16th, trade coaching is near sold out. I think it's about 65-70%, so you know, it's not quite there, but it's getting there. And what always happens in those trade coaching events is right before the event, people end up messaging me, and of course, you know, we fill up. We don't allow a whole lot of students in. There's 10 in person, and then there's 25 online. So just so you know, that's starting to fill up. And okay, here we go. So the S&P trading 281.74, high of day 281.89. So right near its high of day. It tucked right in, so it followed this quad wall down, the support. There's the 200 MA. This is a 60-minute model we use. We have a 1-minute model also for tighter time frames. it bounced right in around the target right before it got into the target. Now its upside resistance is on the intraday 28368, and then it's got a target here of 26. Hold on a second here. Sorry, it's not 26. The target is 299 on August 2nd at 12 o'clock. Not going to happen. We're on the other side of the time cycle. So now you're firing into August 13th time cycle. So your targets are, so sideways target 28382, upper target 299. This is for August 13th. And then bullish side target 29420, and there's one more above, and that's the most bullish in the channel. Your downside, now keep in mind there's still important earnings to come out here. There's a bunch of reports coming out tonight, by the way. We have 3 or 4 of these to publish. Downside 27327, 26788, and then your most bearish, so these are all for the same date, August 14th, sits in and down under 2, it'd be around 262. So it's trading 28166. Main structural support though is 27856. So it's not far above the main structural support. Your next big support on the downside, so in a sell-off, I'd be triggering longs at 26809. So this has been trading nicely through the model. I'm just gonna, yeah, your volume isn't that bad considering summer. I thought I was gonna see much less. Anyway, that's the S&P. I still like it long while it's over its main structural support, and we're triggering at each. So your buy and sell triggers are at these mid quads, right? So you can see the dot shapes. So every time it gets up and over, you see how it back tested here. There's a buy trigger in there. Gets to the next one here, sell trigger. Gets close to the next one as a support, buy trigger, and that's all you do. S&P. So it's paint by numbers trading. U.S. oil got a serious jump off of the lower channel support earlier today. Our team was traveling at the time. We did not alert this. Hit the Tuesday 4:30 target, hit the Wednesday 10:30 target. I don't think it's going to get into this lower target for Friday. There's 2 targets every week. So the other one for Friday is up top. Anyway, you see this channel support down here, got into it, and it took off over this, once it confirmed over the next support at 67.12, right before market open, and boom. Very typical move for oil, right when market open comes. The swing trading resistance now used as support is 69.93, and you're going to get into channel resistance here soon, and we will definitely start shorting in here if it gets up here intraday. It looks like it's gonna. Oh, this is interesting. So I thought the Friday target was in here. It's up above. So its upper channel is way up here. So be careful with those shorts because there is a target here for Friday possible. That's in the upper channel. So it left the upper channel. It failed earlier, late week, last week. Now it's returning and trying to get back into that up channel. That's really interesting. Lots of volatility in August typically. Well, I've got it alarmed, so we'll watch. Downside, maybe I'll alarm this real quick. 68.85, I'll alarm. For the last 3 weeks or so, almost every time there's been a fantastic setup in oil. We've either been in conference, our team, traveling. It's just uncanny. But our members have the model. Of course, they know how to use it, but it would be nice to catch those big moves. Now our winning streak is still there, and we haven't traded, but we just got, we just got the intraday stuff, not the big moves the last 3 weeks. And I got to tell you, having this model and knowing where these big moves happen, it's pretty aggravating. Okay, so that's oil. I'm going to just kill this chart so things move faster here as we go. I'm going to leave the 1 minute up, though. I use the 1 minute for trade timing, so once it's set up on the model. Hopefully this picks up here. Okay. Now, as far as the ones that triggered today, we had GTHX trigger. That's just a crazy cool swing. We had Facebook trigger, totally structural. ATHM triggered. FEYE triggered. FIT triggered. FIT. HIIQ triggered right into its most bullish target. And Tesla, of course, triggered. It's up 12.5% on the day. What a smoking day for Tesla. Unreal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with we should start with this Tesla move because it's a going concern intraday here. I'm going to have to actually alert this. I hate to do this on live video, but okay, so here's the Tesla daily chart. Now if you're a member and you get a chart and it's all messy like this because the indicator is down below, you go on the field area of the screen, anywhere there is no lines or anything, take your left clicker on your mouse and double click it, and you get those indicators come off. Oil just triggered an alarm, by the way, to the upside. The bulls are in there. So I apologize, this midday is moving slow here, but I have no choice but to watch. What a crazy move in oil today. Crazy squeeze. Very aggravating when you miss a trade, but we can't get them all. Tesla. Okay, so this is what the model looks like. So as soon as it got down to its lower trajectory, and this is happening over and over with Tesla, Elon fires up the bulls with an earnings conference call where he apologizes. Now it's back into its upside trajectory. So what does that equal? Well, it's 38350 area, 40, 38340 in November 20th. So your structure then becomes here. So it's in the new structure. And trust me, these guys know the structure. And there's a video coming out on trading structure specifically. And the difference between this kind of charting, a lot of people say, oh, there's too many lines. But when you understand how it works, it's easy to read. It's just you have to apply an hour or two to learn it. But the point is that this incorporates all the indicators. So when somebody is trading one indicator, they are not nearly as equipped as our traders because we're trading structures. So our traders right now know that there's a significant resistance right here that it's getting into. There's also a quad wall resistance. So it's at a decision to stay in this structure, which means it would trade like this through the structure, right? Or it's going to move up to the next structure. So one is going to be slightly bearish. The other one is going to be definitely bullish. Now it's a matter of whether or not it gets into it, right? So up here, it got into this structure, this triangle here, and it was working through. Now it's messy. This is one of the messiest charts you could ever have, but it's nice to have the structure for timing your intraday trades and also for legging in or trimming your swings, right? So upside resistance, 384 area. In a total bullish scenario, 435.38. Actually, there's even one even higher here. It got just ripping into November, 47.70. Downside, significant support down in here at 280. And if it really sold off into November, you're in at 176.23. But all the levels are there, and this chart hasn't been updated in a while, so there's more updates coming. But right now it's at a very important test in the model, and you can see how it's starting to slow down on intraday here. So we'll see if the bull's ticking up through there. Wow. Tesla. HIIQ is next. So we've been working this one heavy. Now some of the traders have asked me about alerting every alert. The alerts aren't automated yet, and you know, that's going to take some time. So we can't alert every you know, leg in or trim. Once you have the models, you know how to use the models. There's simple buy sell triggers on them, and you can trim into those resistance points and add above them, or you can add on pullbacks, or you know, so it tells you where you buy. At each buy sell trigger, you've got to make the decision, and there's also a video coming out about that. We have some very detailed videos coming out because of our trade coaching that's coming up. So these earning videos and the supplemental videos that I'm speaking of right now, they're going to be the basis of our upcoming trading. So you can see HIIQ, how predictable it's been. Hit mid-quad here, so this is its channel. Now keep in mind, we chart all this before trade gets there, right? Which is different than charting after. So this is your channel that it's working in. And it hit the mid-quad, mid-quad, mid-quad at perfect timing. Here it got up over that mid-quad early. We alerted this down in here, and boom, look at the trade. It's been just fantastic. Now, you see this arrow here, that's the trajectory from the last target to the most bullish scenario. Trade hit that and came off today. Now, it's still near its high day. It's trading 42.75, high day 43.35, but its target is up here at 44.50. So it's gotten really close to it. So we sent out an alert to trim. If it gets up and over, your next target here is 49.10, and then your next one would be up in here at 54.80. The thing is, that's divergent. So be very careful. Get ready to turn. So anytime it spikes up over this channel top, get ready for a turn and let it continue through its channel. That's been fantastic. You got fairly decent support here at 40.20, by the way. Your resistance, of course, is the target area in the 44.50 area. You have a few other support and resistance here, but that trajectory, you want to be really careful with it. HIIQ. Next one we're going to look at is FIT, F-I-T. Okay, so here's the Fitbit chart. So when I'm talking about the buy-sell triggers, just to make sure we're really clear, because there's there's a lot of lines on these charts, and some people will use the intraday stuff, some people won't. You know, it's to help you with your trims and your legging into positions. But your main buy sell triggers are at these white arrows here. So you'll see the arrows on the charts, or it's simply if you take the diamond itself. So I get a lot of questions about this. That mid, so here's a buy sell trigger. So earlier today it dumped under the buy sell trigger. We put out a notice on it, an alert. Up here, you see that purple line? That's a 50 MA. Anytime it's hitting the 50 MA or the 200 MA, either way, you got to be paying attention. And so this has been a good dump. We put out a special report on this. I think it was trading down in here around 470. You can always look that up on our website. We nailed this trade, and then I was short biased, and I have been since. It's trading 548 intraday, down 7.5%. It's on the other side of earnings. So this is probably getting oversold soon. Your next time cycle completes August 14th area. Your targets to the upside are 560, 667. Now this thing nails targets. 772, and then there's one up, way up in the channel. Our most bullish scenario. Keep in mind, we nailed this one last time, so if you see another special report on this one, pay attention, because this is starting to look oversold. 455 is your downside target, your first. Now this model isn't built out, but if I had to guess, it'd be right in around here, around 352. That's an August 14th time cycle completion. So you might have some pressure into that August, between now and that August 14th, but on the other side of that, you should start to see a turn if it already hasn't turned. Could there be more of a dump here? Sure. But as it gets closer to August 14th, I'd get ready for a turn. Probability says there's going to be. But, you know, we've got to wait for the indicators to line up. FEYE is the next one. Okay, this is FEYE, FEYE. Now this is a really, really healthy company in terms of its potential. So don't get too bearish about this company, about this equity. Trading 1509 on the other side of earnings. The chart's fairly predictable. I mean, there would be a target here, right? Hit it, target here, hit it, which basically puts it at, you know, a sideways trade. It's got a downside target of 1314 area on or about September 17th. It's trading 1509 intraday. It's got an upside target of 1624, same day, and 1929. And then there's some most bullish scenarios above. This thing is probably going to be getting into an oversold position and turn into that. The probability is that you're going to get a turn here. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely for a trade here. The main resistance point is 1626. So at this point, I'm watching that. I should get, oh yeah, I do have this downside alarmed here. So same idea as FIT. We're looking for a turn. HIIQ is getting extended overbought. Tesla, you just got to work the structure. It's up against a quad wall resistance. And make sure you pay attention to those quad walls. They're there for a reason. Those are diagonal Fibonacci trend lines for the structure. And please understand, trading the actual natural trading structure of the equity, what we do is we take all the time cycles, 1, 3, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. So we take 12 to 15 time cycles. We look at them all, we look at the structure, we look at all the indicators that are commonly used. And we find the time structure that's most structured. So that's the place that liquidity most often trades. In other words, machine, automated trading. If you do your research, you'll find automated machine trading is becoming, well, its chart in terms of liquidity in the markets, its growth is an exponential parabolic curve on a chart. It's very, very important to know where those machines, what time frame those machines are trading. So it's important to know that. It's also important to know the structure, the natural trading structure of the instrument. So when somebody uses just moving averages, for example, or VWAP, those are one indicator. We have up to 50 indicators we go through. Now, the early chart models, there aren't nearly that many indicators that we're looking at. We might be looking at between 7 to 15 indicators. But we have the structure, so we know the structure that's most often used by the machines. So that's where your most predictable area is going to be. And that's why these charts are so important, why our returns on our trades and our alerts are so high comparatively, right? So when you see traders talking about, oh, their win rate's 50-50, but they run longer with their winners, or 60-40. With today's technology and the way that the markets have changed, it's absolutely nonsensical. It's not even, there's no logic in doing that anymore. So I hate to be the bearer of, the bad news for those people that haven't changed in the last 30 years, but these markets don't trade that way. These markets trade on natural structure. They've always had natural structure, but these natural structures are getting more tuned in, especially to the time frame that the machines are trading them on, where the most liquidity is. The machines will trade them on all time frames. I'm just talking about where the most liquidity is, because each time frame will have its own rule set with the machines. We are coding the machines right now. We know how it works, and if you learn how to do this, you can then take what you already know, whatever indicators you're using or whatever methodologies, or even if you're using a fundamental trading strategy. This just supplements that. But what it does is it gives you structure. It'll tell you things that you won't see anywhere, because the people that are using this, that do this work, do not share it with retail. We haven't been able to find one other outfit that is. The reason? Because we do well and we don't need to. Go through our alert feeds and tell me we don't do well. So why am I challenging you that way? Because if you get this, if you get the natural trading structure of the instrument in front of you on one of your monitors, or flip back between screens, you are going to start to win the majority of the time. Once you get really good at it, you can get over 90% win rate. Okay, there's my breach for the day. Actually, that's a little bit of trade coaching. ATHM, one of my favorites, right into the target here. Mid-quad support. Earnings in 6 days. This is on super high watch for us. This has got upside target potential of 127.75 on April 1st, 2019. So this is a massive structure. This is a weekly structure. When you see these big structures, don't ignore them. This is, the bigger the time frame, the more structured it is, the more serious the turns are. They carry way more weight, right? So a weekly carries way more weight than a 1 minute chart. So we're looking at potentially, I mean, there's a upside target way up, way higher. It's in the 140 something, for 146, 128.70 area. Your other one upside, it's very realistic, is 110.87. But even that 128.70 area still leaves you in the channel. The other thing that these algorithmic models do for you is they show you where the channel is. Like, nobody knows there's a channel here, the support. You won't see that in retail. So in a major sell-off, you've got, your 200 MAs down here, that's kind of coordinating with that lower. But, a lot of times it doesn't. So we know, so think GPS, right? You use a GPS to get, where you're going in the car. Same idea. One other quick thing I got to note, because these videos are being used for our upcoming trade coaching event. If you take this chart, instead of it being vertical, the whole chart, and you turned it so it was horizontal, and you pictured these quads like a maze, and all these lines as a maze, where, there's a ball roll, a mouse going through, just think each one it bounces off of, and it's all a decision all the way through. But you know generally what your trajectory is because you just follow these lines. See these green lines? So if you start going up, follow the trajectory. It'll trade in between or down. Same thing. And keep in mind your quad walls. So is it paint by numbers? It is paint by numbers, because right now you could go long at that support earlier today. Now, don't hold into earnings. Trade the other side of it. But you could trade into earnings the next 5 days. So you'd be long. And, as this plays out, then you'll know the trajectory. And then you can start really legging in. So right in the middle of the move, you can really leg in. So that's ATHM. The next one, Facebook. Facebook has returned plentiful harvests for us, and I'll show you why. So one way that you back test people on Twitter or on social media or gurus, is, in my case, my Twitter feed, Kurt Malinopoly. So you just go to Twitter and you search, at Kurt Malinopoly, and then you put the hashtag after, and you can see what they've said about it. Now, some guys go back and they delete stuff like that. That's the unfortunate part. But you could always Google it. You can use the time machine on Google. And I encourage people to always look through my feed, always back test my calls. And Wall Street's so noisy that I know that people don't do it because we have busy lives. I get it, because I was a trader on the other side of the fence, right? But if you look at my Facebook calls, they should blow you away, because while it was dumping last time, right, here in the last week, I was starting to post where it was going to stop. Nobody was posting these numbers. So I had said 167.50. So that's its structured support. But of course, it overshot it just a bit. Always does. To the up or downside, everything does in a panic, right? And boom, it's built structure since. So you'd have to go back to those posts. There's a special report out on Facebook, 2 of them, part 1 and 2 for this last move. But earlier in the year was one of our biggest wins, and that was in the previous dump. And you'd have to go back and you'd have to, look at the charting. But we traded this structure all the way through. Our members knew where all the buy sell triggers are, all the legs. It's been a fantastic trade for us. So I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to show you the whole structure because I've gone through in so many videos and special reports, but I'm going to show you a magnified, more intraday, short-term swinging scenario. So at least you can get your legs in, and then do your homework and look at the charting so you know where your buy-sell triggers are from here. So the interesting thing with Facebook is we nailed the structure, we nailed the timing on the sell-off. Well, people were panicking and having fun on social media. We were busy telling people what was going to happen. Now, how did we know? Because we had the structure many months ago. All we had to do is extend it forward, and then the next morning, our students, I did it live with my trade coaching students. We knew the structure was from here to here, and this is the first hour first 4-hour candle of trade, and they nailed it perfectly. Like, it was to the penny. It was crazy. And this was published the night before. Now, you know, so everybody knew where this structured support was. Of course, it dumped a little bit below. And now it's just following its trajectory. See this green line right here brings you to the target. This green line up here brings you to the next target. Now, this is the sideways target. There's no line there. But this is your obvious structure you're in right now, unless it goes up to the next. So these charts are so easy to understand. Once you get it, it's so easy, because as a trader, I even do this for myself so that visually, you just draw a triangle. There's my structure. You know, I'm shorting into the quad wall there, which is diagonal Fibonacci line. And I'm longing down here. And that's it. I've got an intraday quad wall here, so I've got some support there. So now that I'm, you know, past the main structure, now I'm in here until it gets up into the next one. Once it gets up into the next one, that's all I do. It's just another triangle. Do you see? It's pretty simple stuff once you get it. Anyway, the point is, for the numbers, buy-sell triggers, there's a buy-sell trigger at 18168. There's a buy-sell trigger down here at 16753. There's a buy-sell trigger right where it is right now, 17462. It's at 17476. And now it'll probably pinch in between here and get up to that target. Now, 18150 on September 8th. Now there's more bullish ones up above. Your lower target on that day would be 16753. Now this is a magnified chart, so there's more targets up top, more targets down below. You'd have to look through the report and the videos of recent, but this is the structure. The one other quick important thing is the last time we traded this, it did fail one more floor down. Now, is that going to happen again? You never know. So if it goes another floor down, your support is 16060 in a sell-off, and your main structural support underneath that I'd be long with my life on is 15358. Of course, you know, at these buy-sell triggers, if you buy or sell into them and they fail, cut quick. Take your little cuts, take as many as you need to take, because you got the structure. You know when to leg into these. Sorry, I'm preaching a lot today, but it's got a lot to do with a lot of the messages, a lot of the coaching I've been doing the last few days. The next one we're going to look at is GTHX, just a smoke and swing trade here. Okay, so this is G1 Therapeutics. It has earnings in 6 days. What a beautiful swing. I mean, from the last target here, look at the trajectory. It followed it, pushed it. The bulls pushed through right up to the quad wall. And its upside most bullish target is 58.14. I was screaming from the rooftops telling people. Right now, our traders know this is their structure. You see the So here's your triangle. Now this one will have big swings, right? So you gotta be on top of this. We have day traders that love this one. When I'm focused on day trading, this is the kind of stock I love to trade. But what a beautiful, beautiful swing. Very typical where it hits a target, comes back, hits the next quad wall down under its main structure, and then takes off. Very, very typical for many, many equities. So that trading structure works well. So your resistance now is 58.21. It's trading 51.72. It had a high of the day, 55.71, very near that quad wall. Of course, our trader's new to trim there and staying near its intraday support. Fantastic, just fantastic ROI. And there I go preaching again. But when you have this structure, you know what to do. Boom. So this has been great. Now, I'm going to just show you real quick. I had some questions, some private messages earlier today on this. So here's my Twitter feed at Kurt Malinopoly. You can, just search my handle with whatever equity you want to see and see if I can actually call them or not. I'm going to show you. Here's our swing alert feed. I had a couple of questions about this earlier today, so I'll put it on the video so folks that are wondering can look at it. So Facebook, right? So our alerts tell you exactly. HIIQ hit 42.95, nearing upside price target of 44.50 and trajectory resistance, trim longs. So we're very detailed. Fitbit, we show you all the charting, we show you exactly what to watch for. Now we can't get them all because there's so much happening all the time, but the main ones that we're in, AGN, check out that trade. I mean, just crazy. But you can get a feel as you go through this feed. And if you ever want, if you want a tour, I can walk you through it. But I mean, considering the cost of this swing trading platform, try it for a month and see if I'm a Looney Tune or not. Or go into our free trading chat room and ask people. Okay, so that's Facebook, GTHX, and we just had an alert, I believe, on PSTG, Pure Storage. It's 1:15. I'm way over my time here. So our regular equities we'll have to tackle tomorrow. Pure Storage is another one of those equities that can bring significant ROI. Our swing trading platform has anything from a few dollars as far as the price of the stock to hundreds of dollars. So there's something in there for everybody, and then of course you can play the options on them too. I have a number of members that are options traders that love these structured charts because it's kind of like telling the future. Kind of. Depends. Some of them it's exactly like telling the future, some of them not so much. But at least they know the structure. Okay, so the last alert, so you can see here, this gives you an idea. So RCL just triggered. Pure Storage closed Friday, so last Friday, just above key support. So when anything closes on a Friday just above key support, it's something to watch. Trading 22.53, up 3.54%. Earnings in 24 days. I look at where it's trading. It's trading right at a decision. It's got a target here, October 1st. Exactly where it's at right now with that key decision. Upside from that is 25.78, and I'm shooting for this one up here. 29.20 area on the same day, October 1st. It's trading 22.54. Downside, 19.19, and then another one, 15.90 in the event of a sell-off. It's been trading this structure perfectly. So you see how you do it here. You just take your triangle, So on your charting, you go to the triangle, you just go to that target, and you just bring it up to trend line here. You know, in your quad, doesn't really matter where you stop it. Like that, and this is your trading range until it breaks the trading range. And this is why, like, you'll see posts on Twitter where they'll say a falling wedge, you know, it's powerful. Well, this is what's happening in a falling wedge. Gets in the target, boom, right, or down. That's why it's powerful. It's just being compressed into its time cycle. So when you understand the structure of charts, the real structure, then you understand all these other posts and all these other indicators that people are talking about, because they're all built into this structure. All of them form from the structure. Anyway, we're watching for a move up into those targets. That's PSTG. And one other one alerted here, but that's Royal Caribbean. Well, it alerted, so let's take a look at it. It's 119. This is the last one we'll look at for the day. So tomorrow is Friday, and it'll probably take us until the end of next week, actually, to get through all of these for earnings season. On the other side of that is the trade coaching coming up September 14th and a number of other things. August 14th is the deadline on the release of all the machine trading models. So the price increase will be mid-August going into the fall. And what else is going on? We just got past the machine coding trading. Oh, we've got an institutional event coming up. Look at this. So this is up, it's up over its mid quad. So there's a buy trigger there. So you don't need the arrow to show you that. Once you learn the charts, you'll know this. But the 200 MA is right above. This is a daily chart. It's not the biggest structure, but a structure. And it's up against a quad wall. So this is decision area here. Personally, this is not a buy for me until it's up over 118.70. Because it's got other decisions here, you know. So 118.70. Okay, so that's midday review for August 2nd, 2018. I'll have these and other videos up tonight, and there's some special trade coaching videos coming for our members. And we'll see you in futures tonight. Thanks.